Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to our panels. I'm Siti Mariza binti Ahmad. Factors that contribute to the cyberbullying activities among students using social media as the title of our research. Let's begin with the research background. As a simple introduction about cyberbullying is defined as the use of online communication channels such as cell phones, emails, instant messaging and other social media to harass or threaten someone through message or expression posted online. There are many reported cases of cyberbullying crimes that result in today's teenagers that trying to commit suicide and try doing inappropriate things, as one case reported by Nambia 2020 that happened in Bukit Mentaja, Malaysia. This is due to the pressure and assistance that come from social media. In addition, according to the Cybersecurity Malaysia data, the online harassment has increased from 2012, there are 300 allegations, and 2016, there are 529 online harassment allegations. In this study, there are 3 factors that contribute to the cyberbullying among students using social media with the involvement of peer influence, individual attitude, and family background.
Next is the problem statement. According to Siang 2020, Malaysia ranks second in Asia, where 3 out of every 10 young Malaysians have been survivors of cyberbullying. With the advancement of technology nowadays, teenagers are being exposed to a variety of functions of social media, even they spend most of their time stalking and scrolling over social media before bed. Without the proper control over the use of social media, teenagers might tend to misuse it and lead to cyberbullying activities. Basically, an individual or perpetrator who is involved in cyberbullying because the risks of being recognized by others are low as compared to the physical bullying. They are free to voice out any harassment words that are not acceptable in normal interaction. Moreover, the victim usually being harassed in a number of ways, ranging from calling the bad names to more serious strategies such as insult based on race, body size, gender, or even sexual preference. In addition, parents and family also play important roles on this matter, by which, due to lack of parental control, people often to abuse the function of each application, using it as a forum to harass others.
Let's move on to the research questions. In this study, research question has been created in order to have a better knowledge of factors that contribute to the cyberbullying activities. So, the first is, what is the relationship between peer influence and cyberbullying activities in social media among students? Second, what is the relationship between individual attitudes and cyberbullying activities in social media among students? Third is, what is the relationship between family background and cyberbullying activities in social media among students? Last but not least, what are the most significant factors that contribute toward the cyberbullying activities among students?
Next is the research objective. The purpose of research objective is to guide the entire study process from data collection to analysis and lastly to the conclusion. Research objectives also assist in focusing our research and identifying relevant factors as well as guiding through the research process. As stated in slide, our research consists of 4 research objectives, and the first one is to examine the relationship between peer influence and cyberbullying activities in social media among students. Next is to examine the relationship between individual attitude and cyberbullying activities in social media among students. Our third research objective is to examine the relationship between family background and cyberbullying activities in social media among students. And the last one is to determine the most significant factors that contribute to the cyberbullying activities.
Next, literature review. First, peer influence. According to Ojo 2021, peer interaction become more powerful and essential, and as a result, hazardous behaviors such as cyberbullying activities, sexual activity, substance misuse, and criminality may have a greater effect than parental behavior or views. According to the SO 2018, peer attachment is also related with the internet interactions that can cause cyberbullying. Friends frequently play a very different role in media use than parents do. Peers, friends, and classmates of various categories appear to be essential in explaining teenagers' attitude and behavior, while their importance appear to vary depending on the qualities of the investigated behavior. Second, individual attitude. Zhang 2010 stated that they believe they have a significant impact on people's beliefs and attitudes, which determine how they use technology. As a result, in the study, it is considered that an individual perception and attitude may influence cyberbullying behavior. Problem of cyberbullying arise as a result of the breakdown of relationship that emerge from jealous feelings, no positivity, and tolerance in their social relationship, Mawardah 2018. Personal variable, which differ from person to person, also have a big impact on cyberbullying attitudes. This factor often result in distinct perceptions, behavior, and attitude of an individual towards cyberbullying. Bashir, 2020. Third, family background. In everyday life, parents function as a role model for their children. Parents are the most influential agents in the life of the children. They play a critical role in their children's well-being and emotion development during the transition phase. Yusuf, 2018. According to Bashir 2020, those students who become cyberbullied experience lack of monitoring, attachment, and warm relationship with their parents. It was found that parental monitoring, supervision, family conflict, family abuse, and family support are variables closely related to bullying. Olivas, 2019. The importance of family in cyberbullying behavior is so far as it has a direct and indirect effect on cyberbullying, and the results show a direct and significant relationship between the quality of parent-child communication and cyberbullying. Romero, 2019.
The conceptual framework is used to examine the state of things which are variable or ideas and their interaction in order to gain a complete knowledge of the study. When new data is received, the conceptual framework is used to guide the thinking. Moreover, in our research, the conceptual framework is based on the review of the literature and understanding of the elements that contribute to cyberbullying on social media among students. The conceptual framework establishes a clear link between individual attitude, peer influence, and family background, as well as the elements that contribute to cyberbullying behavior.
Move on to the hypothesis. Alternative hypothesis 1, there is a positive relationship between peer influence with the factors that contribute to cyberbullying activities in social media among students. Now, hypothesis 1, there is no relationship between peer influence and cyberbullying activities in social media among students. Alternative hypothesis 2, there is a positive relationship between individual attitude and the factor that contribute to cyberbullying activities in social media among students. Null hypothesis 2, there is no relationship between individual attitude and cyberbullying activities in social media among students. Alternative hypothesis 3, there is a positive relationship between family background and the factor that contribute to cyberbullying activities. Null hypothesis 3, there is no relationship between family background and cyberbullying activities in social media among students. And the last hypothesis is hypothesis 4, peers influence, individual attitude, family background is the most significant factor that contribute to cyberbullying activities in social media among students.
To achieve the study's objective, a cross-sectional design with a quantitative technique will be used. According to Setia 2016, in a cross-sectional study, the investigator assessed the outcome as well as the study participant exposure at the same time. An evaluation of the investigation incorporation model from a cross-sectional perspective. While for the unit of analysis, since the objective of this research is to learn about the element that contribute to cyberbullying activities among students, so the observation will be based on the individual student from UiTM Seremban 3 Negeri Sembilan. Next is about the sample size. A sample size is a subset of a population that has been chosen for the study. So the overall population for UiTM Seremban 3 student in this study is 5,522 students from all faculties including FSPPP, FSKM, and FSR. So the sample size formula is identical to what has been used by Krejci and Morgan 1970, and the total sample size necessary is 360 students from all faculties according to the calculation that we have made. Let's moving on to the sampling technique. We use a homogeneous sampling, which is sort of purposive sampling that aim to produce a homogeneous sample or a group of people with the same or very similar attribute or features will be used based on our research. A homogeneous sample is used widely when the study question is customized to the characteristic of a certain group of interest. Convenience sampling is the other sample approach that we use. According to Etikan and Ilke 2016, convenience sampling, also known as a haphazard sampling or accidental sampling. It is a type of non-probability or non-random sampling in which respondents are chosen based on certain criteria. For the data measurement, a questionnaire will be created based on the parameter used in this study to recover their criticism. It is a set of structured questions used to generate data from respondents. While for the data collection, the questionnaire will be available in two languages, which are Bahasa Melayu and English, to make it easier for respondents to provide their response. In addition, each set of survey will include a cover letter instructing respondents to complete all of the questionnaire and return them as quickly as possible. The question consists of 5 sections, which are Section A, Respondent Information, Section B, Peer Influence, Section C, Individual Attitude, Section D, Family Background, and lastly, Section E, Cyberbullying Activities. Lastly is the data analysis. The data analyzed for this study will be descriptive statistics, correlation analysis, and multiple regression, all of which will be performed using the statistical package for social science SPSS. In a study, descriptive statistics are used to characterize the essential aspect of the data, and the purpose of the correlation is to see if and how closely the variables are related, while correlation can be used to describe interaction between variables, which are the most important aspects that lead to cyberbullying activities.
Okay, next, the findings on demographic profile. Here, let's see the result that has highest frequency and percentage. First, regarding gender, respondent female contributes 60.7% rather than male 39.3%. Second, most of the respondents are 21 to 23 years old, which 73.8%. Third, the majority of the respondents are from Faculty of Administration Science and Policy Study, FSPPP, 51.4%. In current academic undertaking, the respondents are mostly from degree of 72.4% and diplomas 27.6%. For the current semester, the higher frequency and percentage is semester 6 with 45.4% and none of the respondents are from semester 1. Next, most of the respondents are using WhatsApp and Instagram, which is 89.3% as their social media platform, and WeChat is the least used with 3.3%. The most common posts on social media by respondents are sometimes 41.3%. The vast majority of those who participate in the survey spend more than 6 hours at 61.5% on social media, and none of the respondents spend 1.2 hours on the social media. For the purpose of using social media, the majority of the respondents use social media for entertainment at 93.4% instead of study 74.6%.
As from our first research objective, which is to examine the relationship between peer influence and cyberbullying activities in social media among students, and thus hypothesis null is rejected and hypothesis 1 is accepted because there is a significant relationship between the peer influence and cyberbullying activities in social media among students. For the second research objective, which is to examine the relationship between individual attitude and cyberbullying activities in social media among students, and from the result of our study, we need to reject the H null and accept H2 because there is a significant relationship between the individual attitude and cyberbullying activities in social media among students. Next research objective is to examine the relationship between family background and cyberbullying activities in social media among students. Thus, the results show that we need to reject H null and accept hypothesis 3 because there is a significant relationship between the family background and cyberbullying activities in social media among students. Lastly is to determine the most significant factors that contribute to the cyberbullying activities, and it shows that family background is the most significant factor that contribute to cyberbullying activities in social media among students.
The recommendation for cyberbullying activities is first, parental monitoring. So, seeing as parental style play a significant role in shaping children's personalities and behavior, each of these parenting style has been found to have different effect on children and their behavior. By setting a good example, parents should always play a mediation role at home. Parents should make adequate time to interact effectively with them. Parents should set reasonable boundaries with established guidelines and exercising control. Second, cyberbullying awareness campaign. It will raise awareness that can be conducted using traditional methods such as billboard, bunting or poster, or digital interactive such as mobile apps. Programs should be designed to educate students and the general public about cyberbullying and its long-term effect on victims. Every campaign must have strong emotional impact, educating, performing, and ultimately changing a person's system of values and lifestyle, reforming student ideals and loyalties. Third, social media platform technology. By creating new tools, information, and procedure to report online abuse to tackle the issue and better safeguard their users. It must be acknowledged the technological innovation involved at such rapid pace that before some attributes are researched and described, new ones become accessible and influence the functioning of the youth populations. Fourth, individual attitude. Increase the level of optimism and make it simpler to avoid fears and negative thinking. Positive people have a higher level of psychological resilience. This resilience enables them to react more effectively to adversity. As a result, they will be better able to cultivate a healthy response to disagreements. Having a positive attitude will make you a better friend, family member or partner.
First limitation is due to lack of sample. As we know that during this COVID-19 pandemic, everything need to be run through the internet. So Google Form is the best way that we use to conduct our questionnaire. As a result, there are drawbacks to using an online questionnaire because getting respondents to cooperate in answering the question is quite difficult. This tedious data collection process takes a long time to complete. It is possible that they did not respond to the survey. Aside from that, the data could be a fabricated response because respondents in the survey are less likely than in other research methods to stay fully engaged for more than 5 minutes. Because there is less accountability, there is a considerable risk that people will simply press button to do the task. As a result, when a researcher distributes the questionnaire by face-to-face collecting, online survey can be conducted successfully. Next is the limited model. We are just focusing on 3 independent variables in this study. Therefore, there are not many of them. To put it another way, we are concentrated entirely on the aspect of the literature review that have been identified. In fact, any additional variable that would help this study should be added. However, we discovered that with these 3 factors, it will be easy to figure out which independent variable will have the most impact on the dependent variable. However, without the limiting variable, we can learn more about it. As well as the other element, future research should include more independent variables in order to uncover more factors that can lead to cyberbullying activities.
In conclusion, the classification of the factors that contribute by looking at peer influence, individual attitude, and family background provide a clear picture of cyberbullying factors and their relationship with the cyberbullying behavior. Interestingly, family background is strongly related to cyberbullying activities among students. The classification enables researchers and policymakers to understand the phenomena of cyberbullying activities.